you know, some of the turkey hunts I've been on, the ones I remember most is the one that I failed. Shooting turkey and letting me get away. But, you know, I don't think I'm name calling, but I had a friend, got to be a very close friend, of a famous coach named Bob Knight from Indiana. Bob absolutely loved the turkey hunt. I mean, this guy was eat up with it. And I was a big basketball fan. And being from Kentucky, Nashville, I'm a Kentucky fan. He hated Kentucky. He'd tell me that. But if anybody ever looked at Bob on television, he's just exactly the way he is. He tells it the way it is, and sometimes his language is not too good. But I remember we was doing a turkey hunt one time, and we filmed it for one of our shows. We was in Tennessee, and we was in this blind. You had to put Bob in the blind because he wasn't gonna sit still on it. But anyway, David Hale, my partner, was filming this hunt. And the first thing Bob would tell me when he'd come to visit us, said, now, he called me Coach. My name's Knight, his name's Knight. He said, Coach said, if you'll work for me on my calling, well, I'll talk about all the basketball you want. But if you don't, I ain't saying a word about basketball. You have to help me with my calling rule. So I worked with him, picked out some of the easiest calls I could find for him to operate. And it was a little push and pull call. And we were sitting in a blind. He was just calling constantly. He said, Coach, how's this sound? I said, Bob, that's terrible. Hadn't much more got out of my mouth, a dang turkey answered. He looked at me and I looked at him. He did it again. And the dang turkey answered again and strutted right around in front of us, and Bob killed it. He looked at me, and I'm not going to tell you what he said. We did several shows with Bob. You know, he called me just not long before he died. I knew Bob had a little dementia problem. But we was doing a show down in Tennessee. A friend of mine named Earl Vince, who's in the boat business, he wanted to entertain us. And Bob, I asked Bob, I said, you know, he's well known for throwing a chair across the floor, you know, in the ball game. And, you know, everybody that hated Bob showed that on television. And that was a lot of people. But anyway, we asked Bob, would he do that? He said, absolutely I would. He said, we're going to film the show. So we asked Bob, said, Bob, by the way, what did you do before you started coaching? He said, you know, I had a job. Said, I was in the furniture business. He said, and he was sitting in a little chair, one of those little fold-up chairs. He said, if you come in and buy a sofa, he said, hell, I'd throw in a chair. He threw it across the floor. You know, he had a good sense of humor, and he and I really liked Bob, I really did. Even though I didn't agree with his basketball, but I liked him. That's the one I'll always remember. And you know, Bob died this year. You know, just a few months ago. And, you know, Bob was a guy that was well known and everything. And I always thank these people. I've got to hunt a lot of celebrity type people over the years, and I always tell every one of them, thank you for being a hunter. And I mean that.